Are you an abomination? According to our guest today, if you have the gift of sight, you just might be.
Hello and welcome to the Radiate Wellness Podcast with your host, metaphysician, Reiki master, and hypnotherapist, Christi Hoffman. Each week, we will discover teachings, tips, and tools to radiate your best life ever with practitioners, authors, and luminaries to help you on your path. Wellness, joy, peace, abundance. What do you want to radiate?
Welcome back to the Radiate Wellness Podcast. We are so glad to have you back. I am Christi Hoffman, your host for this podcast. And today we have my friend, Casie Halseth, who is from the great state of Arkansas. And we met at the Kansas City Metaphysical Fair last year, I think it was. And Casie is the author of the series Abomination Born, available on Amazon.com, as well as the co-host of the podcast Abomination Goddess with co-host Ashley Kim. Now, Casie is an award-winning public speaker who has ventured into writing her stories with the goal of meeting a greater audience. Now, you're probably wondering why abomination, and you're just going to have to listen to find out. But before we get on with it, I would like to remind you, please, to rate and review this podcast on whatever platform you are listening at this moment. Also to like, follow, subscribe, whatever you are listening on, and then to share with your high school friend text list, your family group chat, your coworkers, your neighbors. Please share this podcast. It really, really helps. And now on with the interview. Welcome back to the Radiate Wellness Podcast. We radiate abomination today with Casie Halseth, my friend down south. How are you today, Casie?
I'm very good. Thank you.
Now, I say down south. I just momentarily disremembered where you live. That's southern Missouri, right? Or you Arkansas?
Right. 7 miles into Arkansas, in the middle of Arkansas, but just 7 miles from the Missouri border, right in the middle.
Oh, wow. It is so beautiful in northern Arkansas.
Yes. We're in the foothills of the Boston Mountains. And the Boston Mountains are over there on the border of Oklahoma and Arkansas.
Oh.
So the Fayetteville area coming my way is we're into the foothills.
Yeah,
and that's what the Ozarks are.
Oh, wow. And you are out in the country, aren't you?
Yeah.
So nice. Now, last time we spoke, Casie, you were telling me you had a squatter in your home.
Oh, yes. Yes, I have a ghost. Yes.
Squatter?
And I was going to have him go back to where we picked up this old trailer house, and that's what I use as my studio. And I was going to have him go back, but he really belongs to the trailer. He really belongs to this old trailer. And so we've been making peace.
Oh, I'm glad you've been making peace because he was kind of mischievous.
Yes, he is. We've been making peace. Yes.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Now, Casie, I met you at the Kansas City Metaphysical Fair. Was that last November? November 24th? Oh,
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. You were in my gallery, right? And we got to talking and you were telling me about this podcast that you have. And I was actually on your podcast as well. Abomination Goddess.
Yes.
So your whole brand, as it were, I would say is abomination. Can you tell us why abomination?
Well, when I was 10, this angel I've always been able to see on the other side, and I've lived between the two worlds. And my mother was dying, and I had slipped into her room, and my dad was with her, and it looked like she was already dead. And I was thinking I'm going to have to do something to try to save her. I wasn't going to let the angels or anybody take her. And an angel appeared at the base of her bed. Actually, there were 2 other angels there as well. And the angel, I was going to have to fight off this angel from taking my mom. I wasn't going to let him take mom. And instead, he had said to me that he was there to cure my mom. And then he told me to leave. He didn't like me at all. So he told me to leave. And then he called me an abomination. He said, "You are an abomination." And so
he told you this
because I could see him. We're not supposed to be able to see the other side. We're supposed to experience life in this world without knowing anything. And then through our experiences, we begin to discover things within life. But some of us are born with the veil lifted and we're able to see. So I've been able to see since the day I was born. And I've been able to see both this side and the other side, all the worlds. And all the people that are the abominations, there's a lot of us.
I are one, yes.
Yes. We're able to go into the other realms and hear back and forth. And today, that same angel, I've seen him many, many times, that same angel, he's given me the nod. He thinks we're okay.
Good. Yeah, that is the first that I had heard of angels in particular, thinking that people who could see them were abominations. That had not.
Yeah, me too. I didn't know that either.
When here you were 10 years old, did you even know what an abomination was?
I knew it wasn't good. And when my mother was well, I had looked it up in the dictionary, but I didn't understand all the words that they used in the dictionary. When my mother was well, probably about maybe 6 months later, I asked her about it and I told her about what the angel had said. And she helped me understand that she would always say, we're the real people. And because she can see things too. And she says, it's just that we see, we know things.
Yeah.
She was very kind.
Oh my goodness. Now, your mom has since passed.
Yes. She lived to be 96.
Oh my goodness. That's amazing. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And you said that she also had this gift.
Mm-hmm.
What?
And her mother, all the way back, our women go back. We come from a matriarchal line from Hungary, northern Hungary, by the foothills of the Carpathian Mountains. And the family is still living in the same cob home, made of cob.
What?
And it's been there since 500 AD. And they raise grapes and they've been there. They're just a simple family. And the women have always owned the land up until when the communists took over. They didn't honor that. So then my cousin Stephen now owns it. But they were the first to have a man own the property. It's always been passed down from the oldest daughter to the oldest daughter to the oldest daughter to the oldest daughter.
Oh my goodness. That's intense. And so what, like 7 or more generations of...
Yeah, at least. Yeah, it goes way back. And then there was that split in the Hungarian people. The matriarchs, they stayed there in northern Hungary in the Carpathians. And the patriarchals, they moved north into Norway and Finland and Sweden. And they became the Sami people. And we're the Shami people. We were the Shamis.
Oh, interesting. Chamois people, like the chamois that you wipe your car with?
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
I know when my grandma first explained that to me, that was the first thing I thought of. They named us after a rag? Like the leaning rag? Of course, being Hungarian, she didn't know that they had a rag.
Right. Oh, she didn't know there was, which actually, chamois is a French word. So,
okay.
chamois that we use to dry our car is a French word. Yeah. All right, so let's crack into your work, your body of work, the Abomination Born series. It's a series of books.
I'm working on the 4th one now. The 3rd one is just about to be given. It's done, and Katrina is the editor, and she's going to be working on that.
Yeah.
Katrina Schroeder out of Oklahoma City. She's she's our coach, our writing coach, and we go to Fiction Lab online with her. And the Fiction Lab is just phenomenal. It's a place where we can go and be with other people who write and know that we're not crazy for wanting to sit down and tell our stories.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. So this is the Abomination Book Works of Fiction. So it's a series. Just tell us about the series.
Well, what I've done is I'm telling everything that I know, that I've grown up knowing, and I'm telling it in a way that it comes out like a story. The first book is pretty much the whole thing is the story of my growing up and my life, but I've put it into a fiction fantasy kind of way, but almost everything in there actually happened. The only thing is when we had an event, like in 1st grade, when I saw the Indian come through the blackboard and taught me his song, my twin sister was there also, and she also heard the song and saw him. So I took out all the family members. I took out all the friends, like when we went hiking and I disappeared for quite a while, like an hour and a half or something I was missing. My girlfriend was with us as well as my husband, and I took her out of the story because that's what it's fantasy is, because I took people out that, maybe I didn't want to put them on the hot seat, sort of.
But you want to put them in the spotlight. No.
Yes.
If I were in your book, I'd probably want to, well, it depends on the character, what you would give me, but my as well. So it's fictionalized, but still your story, right?
Yes. Yes.
And
And I give instruction. I teach about the broom and how when you sweep with the broom, you're sweeping light and love out into the world. Everything that you're doing, everything is sweeping out this light and love into the world. So I incorporate all these little things into the story. So it's sort of a teaching book, but it's also a story. And that's what I do with all of them.
You've got 2 out currently. And
Well, one is out completely. It's on Audible, Kindle, the first one, Abomination Born. And the second one, Farsight, is just about to be out. It'll be on everything, on Amazon and everything. And then with the third one, I'll probably have it to where it goes beyond Amazon. I'll have it go out to all the stores and everything.
Ingrams and everything else.
Yeah, Ingram Sparks, through Ingram Sparks, yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a publisher?
Just Amazon right now, yeah.
Right, you're self-published. Okay.
And I'll go with Ingram Sparks probably after that for the distribution.
Yeah. I just published a book this summer, and
I know it's a wonderful book.
thank you for reading it. Thank you for reading it. Yes, real life angel encounters, real people share real stories of miraculous encounters. And I went through a publisher, and I tell you, the distribution is the tricky part. I mean, it's the writing the book, that's the easy part. Editing it, that's easy. But it's getting it out there is the hard part. So good for you for getting it out there and putting it out there. Okay, so
And I feel that if the people are meant for it, I think they'll find it. I'm okay if a whole lot of people don't read it, but I know that the few that will, they'll appreciate it.
need it. They need
Mhm.
it. So what type of person would read Abomination Born? Who does that appeal to? Who did you write it for?
Other mystics, people that might feel left out a little bit and not understand that the other Abomination Borns, if people who feel that they are also possibly somebody who is different, they don't quite fit in.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody
Mhm.
who feels that they're an abomination would
Mhm.
read this book,
Mhm.
right? I mean,
Mhm.
in a way, you're reclaiming the word,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
It's like
Mhm.
you reclaim so many things.
Mhm.
Yeah, reclaiming the word abomination. Now, you've also got Abomination Goddess.
Mhm. Oh, the podcast,
The
yes.
podcast. That's the one
With Ashley Kim. Oh, she is just wonderful and so smart.
both of you, it's a good mix. Yeah, so tell us about that podcast.
It's really fun. Every week, if we haven't got someone like you to interview, then we'll just talk about different things. This last one, we put it out on Wednesdays. And this last one we did was about intuition. And if
Yeah.
you're a high intuitive person and you also are a high feeling person, it can really be difficult for you.
Because you are, aren't you?
No, my intuition is very low. I can see things.
Mm.
And so sometimes I'll see things and misunderstand what I'm seeing, whereas an intuitive will know immediately. This last podcast, Ashley had asked the question about she had a friend who walked into a room full of people and immediately she just blurted out loud. She said that she knows that everybody in the room doesn't like her and she can feel it. And an intuitive person will get information just instantly, less than a blink of an eye. They'll just know something. And feeling is one of their gifts that they have that's close to intuition, one of their top 2 that they rely on all the time. Then it's really easy for them to become overwhelmed with that. They have the knowing and they're usually right. And they have the knowing and then they have the feeling and it can kind of crush them and take them out of their center and they can kind of lose it. And so what I was trying to explain to Ashley was we have other gifts that we can use. We have other ways of taking in information. So rather than letting it crush us when we know something, to waken our visual center possibly and get ourselves distracted a little bit, maybe try to find something beautiful to look at or use our audient nature and try to have in your back pocket these words that you might say that might help you is say, oh, this is beautiful, or look at that, isn't that nice? Say something nice to help you bring yourself back to center because an intuitive can be thrown very easily because they know something and to be thrown from their center can take them off. They'll just be frustrated, especially if they're an intuitive feeler. Their whole body will just kind of shrink and they'll be very uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I was trying to give her instructions on what ways that they could help themselves.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Yeah, as an intuitive, sometimes it gets a little overwhelming and we've got to stay grounded. We've got to, I like your technique of finding something to appreciate, expressing
Hmm.
gratitude
Hmm.
in the moment.
Hmm.
I always like to do the old 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 sense
Very good.
where we notice 5 things that we can see, 4 things we could hear, 3 things, go through our senses. So
Very good.
to get grounded and back in the body immediately. Yeah. But you say you're not intuitive.
I am last intuitive. I am intuitive, but not as much as like my husband is first intuitive and second feeler. Those are way he takes in information. And I am first visual and second audient. So I see. So if something is happening, I'll see it. I can see the message.
Yes, yes, yes. See, I would consider that intuition myself. So it's interesting you make that distinction. So,
Yeah, I do. I do make that distinction. And the reason why I make the distinction is to help in case one of them gets overpowered, then I can fall into something else. So if I'm into that knowingness, then if I know something and I have those kind of words in my head, knowing words, then I know I'm into intuition where I'm understanding something that way. My second book actually gets into this. The name of the book is called Farsight. And I'm having Marnie, the character, learn. And so, therefore, I'm trying to teach everybody how to awaken the seeing part of us so that we can see the visual part of us. And the first one, I was more into the feeling and sending out the light and love through feeling and connecting everything with the web. So these are all really important things that everybody should embrace. But we tend to want just our favorite ones. And sometimes that can really throw us off.
absolutely. And I teach, developing intuition courses. And I always teach that it's helpful to know, you see, I call it intuition styles. It's helpful to know how we receive. Because when
Yes,
we know how we
exactly.
receive, then we know that we're receiving something.
Right,
So,
right.
it's-
Like when one time we were in the RV and Al immediately sensed his knowingness told him that something was wrong with the RV and his feelings were just going crazy. And so he says to me right away, something's wrong with the RV. Tell me what's wrong. Draw a picture of it. So I get my little pad out and I see this little thing and I show it to him and he says, oh no, not that. It was the thermostat. And just right after that, the thermostat blew and it went right through the radiator. And we were on the freeway. We had to pull off the freeway. So you can be with other people, it's perfect for us because he's high intuitive and high feeler. And I'm very high visual and very high audience. Yeah. So together we work out really well.
That is so funny. That reminds me of a husband-wife duo. They came from a different country, some Spanish-speaking country, and he was really good at listening and knowing what people were saying, but he couldn't speak well. She could speak English very well, but was not great at understanding what people were saying. So
That's really odd.
interesting.
Yeah.
We had
Yeah.
different skill sets. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
When I taught ESL, we had classes on listening and speaking, reading and writing. So they're very different skills.
Yes.
So, yeah, so it sounds like you and your husband, Al, are two peas in a pod. And it really
Yeah. It works out really well.
works out great. Yeah. So for myself, I grew up a claircognizant, which is what you call knowing, but
Uh-huh.
claircognizant and clairvoyant as well, which is the seeing, of course, with clairaudience being back there, like my tertiary skill or gift. And then I remember when the clairsentience, the feeling came in, it was a little off-putting because I was doing readings out of my home at the time. Now I'm in an office, but I was having people into my home and I did a reading for this young man, pleasant young man, and great reading, wonderful reading. And he wanted to bring his parents in and his sister. And I said, great. Yeah. Well, let's get that set up. A couple of weeks later, we had the appointment set. And in the days leading up to the appointment, I just started feeling all this fear and unease and unsettled and everything else. Oh my gosh, these people are going to be awful. They're going to beat me up. They're going to abuse me, just all kinds of horrible things. And I almost canceled, honestly. But I thought, no, this gentleman was nice. Of course, his family's going to be kind as well. They came in, sat down, and I said, okay, first off, I have to say, or I have to ask you, is there a history of abuse in your family? And the dad said, oh, yeah, that was my dad. And then immediately that fear left my body. So yeah, it can be a little overwhelming when we're just stepping into our gifts. But you
Yes,
don't have to
yes.
do that. You were born with these things.
I was, except my feeling and my intuitiveness is lower. I found that I didn't go to them. You have to go to them. And I didn't. So over the years, I remember the first time I consciously made myself try to get into the feeling more because Al would feel my sweater and I'd have this really pretty sweater on with gold metal fibers in there. And I just thought it was really pretty. And he would touch it and he would go like, oh, that kind of hurts. How could you wear that? And I'm thinking, well, but it's beautiful. Visual, it's
Oh.
beautiful. I don't care. It's beautiful. I don't care what it feels like. The feeling part, I wasn't really tapping into the feeling. So I decided, okay, I need to really open up my feeling centers. And so I went around all the fabric stores I could find and I walked around and touched every single bolt of fabric. The ladies probably thought I was crazy. And that simple act was just amazing. I could start feeling and I could see why people don't like feeling. And I can see why I didn't fall on it.
Mhm.
As growing up, I would choose not to call on that one because feeling can hurt.
It'd be a lot. It really
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
When you're feeling everybody around you and you're feeling,
Yes.
even with foods and household cleaners, you're feeling all of the people who have processed these things and sold them in the stores. And yeah, you feel it all. It can be
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I teach people how to harness these gifts and use them safely and then clear themselves as well. So it's
Excellent.
important.
Excellent. I didn't realize you did all that. That is so good. Thank you for doing that. That's a real nice service.
So it helps. I mean, the whole goal of teaching it and teaching it that way is to help people live their lives better. And
Yes.
we're living here
Yes.
in spirit. We're living in the currently fourth dimension, moving into the fifth dimension. We are in conjunction with spirit and need to know how to interpret our world.
I was at a conference or a fair event in Manhattan, Kansas just recently. And I came across this lady and I was talking with her, a really nice young lady. And she was an intuitive feeler. And all of a sudden she started to almost cry about some incidents that she'd had at work where everybody was acting odd for her or whatever. And I realized that she's an intuitive feeler and taking in all these employees' pain and their lives and everything, taking it into her body. The whole time she was talking to me, her body was moving all over the place. And she was such a sweet thing. And I could tell that she was taking in everyone in her work environment's situation through her body. And so I realized again that I talked to her for quite a while and helped her to understand about the other ways to take in information and what she could do. And then she would say that they don't understand her. Well, the reason they don't understand her is because she's communicating in an intuitive feeling way and they're communicating in a visual audient way. So I had her use words like when you talk to somebody who's a visual, I see it this way. Oh, I'm glad you see it this way. I had her use those kind of visual words to
Yeah.
practice using visual words instead of saying, well, I know this,
Right.
or can't you feel this?
Right.
And so I had her use the visual words to help her communicate with these other people. And an audient word might be a talking word. I'd like to hear, I'd like to hear what you have to say about this.
I hear what you're saying.
Yes,
Oh, I
yes.
hear you, sister. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And she was like, well, why would I say that? And I said, because you're talking to them and that is their main way of communicating. And so when you talk with your words of knowing things or you feel things, they don't understand that.
No.
So it was really fun talking with her and you could see the light bulbs going on in her where she started to understand.
Mm-hmm. That's like code switching in a way. You're speaking in a
Yes,
way that people can understand.
that's exactly what it is.
Mhm, yeah. When I taught college, we all have learning styles, and so
Yes.
I'd give a quiz to know what students' first, second, and third learning styles are, and then after that, I'd teach in such a way, "Okay, for my visual people, think of it like this, or look at it like this. For my auditory people, I want you to hear me say this. For my kinesthetic people, I want you to draw a map or doodle or something like that to." Yeah, so it's understanding this, and then even in teaching intuition, is speaking to the different gifts as in a way that they understand. I love that. I love that you educated her in how to communicate effectively what she's
Yeah. See, an intuitive person knows it immediately. they know what you're going to be talking about immediately. They just get it that fast. You
Yeah.
know, they're just that smart. They already know it. They're ready. They're just done. Okay, we're done. Whereas a visual wants to paint the whole picture. Go on, let's go on. And like me, visual audio, I could talk about this for hours because I'm a visual. I got to paint the picture with my words. And intuitive is like, okay, this is enough. Okay, we're done. You know?
Exactly. I'm like already 10 steps ahead of you there.
Yes,
You know, when I'm
yes,
talking to somebody, it's like, all right, come on, I got it. Let's get going.
yes, yes.
Oh, we can all tell what type of receiver we are or a person is by the language that they're using. Again, like you
Yes,
said,
yes, yes,
they mostly say, oh, I see what you mean. Do they mostly say, oh, I hear you? Do they mostly say, oh, I can feel you? You can tell by the use of language. So it's helpful.
yes.
It's really nice. Good.
And we try to cover this kind of information on our podcast. And Ashley will ask questions, and then I'll come up with things, and then she'll come up with things. And you never know what we're going to talk about from one week to the next.
That's just it. You're never going to run out of things to talk about, are you?
No, yeah.
And then Ashley was on the Real Life Angel Encounters, as were you on Real Life Angel Encounters. So, yeah, she's quite a powerhouse too.
Yeah, she is.
She really is. And you two have something very special there. And the way you communicate and the guests that you bring on, the information that you share, and everything else. Now, also on the podcast, your podcast, you do some fun things. I remember you had me bring show and tell items.
Show and tell. Yeah, we love show and tell. We're just little kids inside. We love to show off our little trinkets and things.
We got to have more opportunities for show and tell for adults.
Yes.
So, what are some of the favorite show and tell items that you've had on your podcast?
Oh, well, anything to do with a stone, a rock, any kind of rocks, I'm there. I've absolutely.
And so, show and tell for you guys it could be a rock, a tool,
Yeah.
a candle, a rune.
Yeah, this last week, Ashley brought her crystal, her favorite crystal, and her favorite little amethyst. And I've been trying to teach her how to talk to stones, and she's able to hear and talk with her stones now, those two. I'm so proud of her.
So wonderful. Yes, the Abomination Podcast. And where do you find the Abomination Podcast? Where are you guys listed?
It's in Spotify. It's on YouTube. She has it on Substack as well. It's called Abomination Goddess Podcast. Mm-hmm.
Now, you are on Substack. I was looking for a website for you, but you are on Substack.
Substack, yes.
A lot more people being on Substack now. So what can we expect to find on your Substack? And what is your Substack called?
It's just Catherine Halseth.
But Catherine with a C. And it's
yes.
R-Y-N.
Right.
R-Y-N Halseth.
That's the old way of spelling it, yeah.
Is it really?
Yes, I'm named after my grandfather. My mom's father was from Transylvania, and I'm named after his great aunt.
What? That's wild. You've got all of this Northern and Eastern European stuff going on.
Yes. Yeah, I grew up with a lot of stories.
Oh, I'll bet you did. And then what kind of things that can we expect to find on your Substack?
Well, I like to put little things that I've been working on, especially like if we've done something on the podcast, I might put that, maybe my show and tell items onto the Substack as well.
Yeah. And you're pretty prolific. I mean, you are definitely a writer. That is.
Yeah. I like to tell stories.
Yeah. Did you have a background before you started doing this woo-woo stuff? Have you always done this?
Well, I've always told stories, but I've never written them. And my mother was quite a writer. She was quite a letter writer. But I never did a lot of writing because I'm very dyslexic and can't spell hardly at all. And so I would tell the stories, but I would tell them to my customers. I used to do hair. I was a hairstylist for years, and I would have people in my chair, and of course, I can read them, but I wouldn't let them know that I could read them. But I would find the perfect style for them and everything. And you get to know people after you do them every 6 weeks or so, for years.
Yeah.
And I would tell them all kinds of stories.
You're all up in their crown chakra, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The hairdressers are something like a psychiatrist or a psychologist. People just start telling you things and you interact with them. So,
yeah, I know I was always busy. And I don't think it was because I was a spectacular hairdresser. I think it was because I was someone that they could talk with.
I think there's something to that. I really do. I think there's something to that, right? That just holding space and sharing a moment with somebody is
Mhm.
vastly
I'd
underrated.
give them a higher way to look at the same situation.
Right.
I'd try to raise them up.
Try to raise them up. Absolutely. I think that's the name of the game, is trying to raise
Mhm.
people up. Yeah.
I didn't work for about 20 some years. I didn't work. We lived here deep in the woods, and I was mostly communing with everything, and nature, the spirits. We have a lot of spirits here in the Ozarks.
I do love the Ozarks. It's beautiful down there. Very beautiful. And
In the wintertime, there aren't any bugs, and the snakes are all in hibernation. So, you can go deep into the woods. You can go everywhere without worrying about any kind of ticks or chiggers or anything. So,
snakes.
snakes, yeah. And
Mhm.
I've made peace with all of those. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They don't want to bother us. They really.
Oh, they don't, but they'll chase you. I've been chased by a moccasin a few times.
Oh, no. Oh,
Yes.
goodness. Oh, my goodness. And of course, ticks feed off of you. So I suppose there's that.
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
right. So,
So wintertime is after the frost, after the first good frost, then I'm in the woods
that is.
until sometimes into March. I can go as far as March to where the critters start coming out, and then I stick to the driveway. I have a long driveway.
Yeah, I totally get that. It's a beautiful part of the country. Beautiful part of the country. All right. So your books, your second and third book, well, your second book's coming out very, very soon.
The book will probably be out.
Yeah, your second book at least will be out. Maybe even the third book will be out.
No, it takes her a while to go through the whole, because Audible, she does the Audible,
Oh,
and that takes a while,
okay.
unless it goes faster.
Does she record the Audible or do you?
She does.
She records it. Oh,
Mhm.
I might want to talk to her.
Oh, yeah. Katrina Schroeder, and she has her own website, but it would be the Fiction Lab, through
Nice.
the Fiction Lab.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, Casie, this has been so much fun. And I would encourage everybody to go out and check out Casie's Substack at casiehalseth.substack.com.
I think I have 2 of them, and I've been trying to get it down to 1.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we will put the one that you use the most, we'll put the link
Yeah.
notes so that everybody can find your Substack. It's turning into a place that's replacing some of the social media that we see, which is very interesting.
Well, yeah, a lot of writers enjoy Substack. I find that a lot of writers go to Substack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's free for everybody to look at, and it's free for me to use.
That's-
And you can post a video onto Substack, and if you want it to, it will post it then onto all the other platforms as well. It's very kind. They go out of their way to be helpful.
I love that. I love that.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then I should say, Ashley Kim also has a Substack.
Yes, and she has a book out, Villain Era Goddess.
Yay.
It's a wonderful book.
Nice. Villain Era Goddess. And is that book similar to Abomination Born?
No, it's a step-by-step nonfiction on how she got herself, when she more or less came out of the broom closet. Um, It's her step-by-step how she handled everything within the family system and her friends.
Yeah.
And she became a villain to them all, and then she transformed that from villain to goddess. And that's how we got our podcast name. Is my stories begin with Abomination, and hers ends with Goddess, and so we put it together as Abomination Goddess.
Well, that makes so much sense. That is wonderful. And I would recommend everybody to go at least listen to Abomination Goddess, but you're also on YouTube. So you can watch it and really see those show and tell items.
Yes.
That is so much fun. That is so much fun. Well, is there anything else that we haven't talked about that you think is important for our audience to know?
I'd like everyone to realize that there's so much more to the world than we think. Even with me, a lifetime of knowing things, I'm always finding out more. And so just to keep yourself open, there's always more.
There's always more. There's always more. Absolutely right. There's so much to bring wonder and joy and curiosity.
Yeah.
All right. So my guest today has been Casie Halseth with the Abomination Born series and Abomination Goddess podcast. Thank you so much for joining me today, Casie.
Thank you for having me.
Don't know what to watch next? Decisions. Well, we've got some suggestions. You can click this little video here and watch that. It's something that we think you're going to like. If you like the last one, you're going to like that one too. You can also click on the subscribe button. And if you do that, then you'll get notifications whenever we have a new video up. Win-win, right?